Hello, hello. Can everyone hear me and see me? I have extra. It depends on how my inflammation is. I feel like extra chubby cheek lady today. Okay, so we are on Scorpio. Hello, hello again. Sorry, I'm not gonna lie. And I promise I will. I've been, like I said, insanely busy. I put fresh chives on the cream cheese, but this is my homemade egg everything bagel. But it's like insanely easy and it's full of protein. I think that's like 35. No, it's more because I have an egg in mine. It's almost 40 grams of carb. 40 grams of carb. It's almost 40 grams of protein. Hi, Victoria. Hi, Juan, Shelby, Will. Hi, Will. And Samantha. Did I say Juan? Thank you, Tina. That's sweet. Hi, TS. I was crazy busy in meetings from the time that I business meetings since the time I woke up this morning. So I saw your email and I haven't had a chance to type it out, but there is no planned party until I hit, when I hit 1,000. When I hit 1,000, I will have the Zoom party. Hello, Sherry. But yeah, I'll put the recipe for that up. I used to work in a bagel store, and honestly, it's not exactly the same, but certainly when you move out of New York, it's as good as any bagel you're going to get out of New York. But the egg everything is so good, and it just adds extra protein. The trick is to use powdered eggs and not whole eggs, because otherwise you have to add too much flour to doesn't work. But it's super healthy. Hi, Dolly. All right, so we're looking at Scorpio. We're looking at the energies in March, which are intense. Hi, DeRay. If you want to have more on how the energies are going to be shifting and how that might be affecting you when this is done, you can watch the beginning of Pisces, because I talk about it a little bit more in there. But for everybody that was in there, I don't want to repeat myself. So we're going to be looking at your energy, the energy you're stepping out of that most recently affected you. That could be the last year or the last week. We're going to be looking at other, and other is whatever other energy is affecting and your life, your sleep, your thoughts, your emotional, spiritual, and mental state. It can also be you snuggling or struggling with your demons. Am I doing Sunday readings? Do you mean, am I doing readings like on Sundays on YouTube? Because Connie Joe and I were just live, but I'll be live every Sunday. You're asking me if I'm doing private readings on Sunday. If you truly cannot get in on any other day on my schedule, then email me. Talk moody to me. That's great, Shelby. And so we're going to be looking at that. Other can be the person on your mind, the other person in your life, romantically, but it doesn't have to be romantically. It could be a situation with your in-laws. It could be a situation at work, and it could be you trying to step in or shed out of a version of you. Cross watchers are welcome. This is also great if you have 8th house placements. Any Scorpio placements, 8th house placements, and if you're here, then you're probably supposed to hear something that I say. Well, I'm not channeling like a person. The message is definitely, your guides definitely, I never know. I don't plan anything ever to talk about or say. It's however the cards and the guides lead me to give you guys the messages. Scorpio, you're coming out of a square to Saturn for the last 2.5 years. And this shows. I talked about at the end of the Virgo reading that the energies that are so strong and so Saturnian, because Saturn leaving Aquarius is still Saturn in a Saturn ruled sign. And then, you know, Pluto in Capricorn is still a Saturn ruled sign. So Saturn doesn't not like to be told to sit down and let the change happen. Saturn doesn't like when anyone breaks its rules. So we are feeling in the energy around us the last vestiges of the gulping for air before these bigger changes slowly but definitely take place. And so Scorpio has been feeling all of that, plus the nodes, and you guys had the South Node, just kind of making sure that you were done with old habits, and if you weren't, you probably felt that. And then you had Uranus opposing through your placements. Good news is Jupiter is about to be on the other side of your seesaw. You're coming out of that square with Pluto. I'm sorry, with Saturn. And yes, I know Pluto is coming to an Aquarius, and technically that is going to square placements for Scorpio, but it's a different kind of Pluto. It's a different kind of Pluto. Trust. All right, I'm taking one more bite of this. That's ridiculously good. I gotta tell you, for a lot of you, this is you trying to step into the version of yourself that all of these squaring transits brought to you. Like this episode of What the Fuck in Scorpio was brought to you by all the gnarly transits that you guys have had for at least 2.5 years. Probably feels like 5. We have upside down pages. We have the Tower on the board. We have the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. There's a lot available to you that, because of the past disasters, I almost don't need to like get into each card. If I were a Scorpio or had Scorpio placements, I might feel like the last 5, but especially 2.5 years have taught me that don't plan on that happiness. Like that happiness that you tasted, that thing that you thought you were done with, that you could feel it on your lips. You've been punked. And so what I see here for Scorpio is something you would like to invest in. Something you would like to walk into. Something that you feel and you are not acting upon, if I'm being honest. Because why would you? After the last 2.5 years, after every attempt has been thwarted by powers that be. And I mean, what I'm feeling here too is that Scorpio placements in the past have probably like done stuff, whether it was out of trauma response or other, but maybe not made decisions that was the healthiest decision for you at the time, but like the decision that you made to like quell the trauma, quell the wound, right? Spackle the holes kind of quickly. And that happens to all of us, not just Scorpios, but the last 5 to 2.5 years, but especially 2.5 years, despite your best efforts, despite better decision making, despite better willpower, all of that, the shitstorm seems to almost be worse. Like, this is my reward. This is what I get. Hi, Jacqueline. This is what I get for making better decisions. And you could feel that way with it's gonna change. I know you're like, lady. Everybody's like always, it'll get better. Every time phone off of do not disturb all of my equipment to do something on the computer. I had to share my screen with somebody and I forgot to put it back on. So I apologize that if it gets interrupted again before I can put it back on do not disturb. I would feel like this is how I'm being rewarded. Why bother? Why spend this much effort into good behavior? Why spend this much effort into, if I'm going to get betrayed, slapped in the face, financially completely turned on my ass, and the one person that I thought was going to like be my support is part of my betrayal, and for some of you, whether that's family, significant other, friends, whatever. Like, they're showing me David. This is for, sorry, just for the old people. They're showing me David Byrne. Like, this is not my beautiful house. This is not my beautiful wife. Like, what is going on here? This is not what I tried really hard to set up. Let's get into this. We have the Knight of Wands in reverse on Scorpio's side. And again, flip this like if you have to, if you're cross-watching and it makes, or you're a Scorpio and the other side, the energies are here for you to take or leave. So, we have the Knight of Wands. It's in reverse. You've been holding back impulse, Scorpio. It's hard because I have seen the other cards. Hi, Amber. You've been holding back impulse, passion. I would imagine because you feel like everything you touch, you get burnt. I promise you, though, Saturn coming out of Aquarius is going to be so helpful to you. And the nodes coming out of your sign, out of the South Node, off of your placements in July, also going to be helpful. And if it helps, Scorpio, I just feel like saying this to you. If it doesn't come up before, if you're not shown real truths about people, if you're not feeling safe around who's your real support system and who's not, in July, there's going to be a Venus in retrograde in Leo, which will square Scorpio. Anyone that had less value to them, that posed as having more value to you, you'll see it. It will be shown. So don't. If something happens and shifts, and then somebody's like begging for forgiveness, they're going to make real change. Just say, okay, I'll watch you. I'll watch that change, and don't make any decisions till like the end of August, because anything that has less value truly, and it just looks like surface sparkle value, you'll get to see that by the end of August. This whole year is changing as far as like the astrological new year, March 21st. The shifts really begin for Scorpio, and hi Melissa and Anya, you're right on time. By the time the fall comes in, right before your season, it's going to be like a whole new world for you guys. And all cards on the table, whether people want them on the table or not. On the other, whether this is you and you're resisting a tower moment, you're trying to hold on to something that you no longer serves you. I don't even think you're happy in it. Or this is somebody else having their tower moment and you're about to see the real them for the first time. Like somebody's dirty laundry. I'm getting like somebody that acts like they're the stable one, they're the good one, they're the whatever, and that's not the case. And that's being exposed, or it's internally happening for them already. This is bringing things feeling really out of balance. And again, we started off this reading talking about the last vestiges of those energies that are squaring you or opposing you, kind of gasping for air. You know, unfortunately, Uranus is kind of only halfway through, but that Saturn in Aquarius probably really, because this is the energy we're coming out of, would have made you feel not liberated, not free to live your life, not free to be you, feeling like every time you try, you get slapped on the hand. And it has made things really out of balance. It's to shake everything up. And you're like, I've had enough of that. Thanks. In the energy coming up, we have the Princess of Cups, but it is upside down, and this represents the Page in this deck. There's either an apology or somebody you would like to reach out to. I think it's the same person that you are hiding your impulses, hiding your desires from. There's somebody you either want to give a small gesture or an apology, and you're not doing it. You're also possibly not getting an apology from somebody else that you deserve an apology from. What's interesting here is that I can't help but feel this energy of like, you would like to just give a little. You would like to like extend either an olive branch or just a high, or, and you know, and we have these released doves in this photo, but you feel drained. You feel a little drained. You might feel a little overwhelmed. And also you don't feel safe to kind of give everything. And I don't, hi Little John, I don't know that you, I don't want to speak for Scorpio, I don't want to diagnose Scorpio, but I'm picking up an energy, and this may just be for a few of you. I literally have an instant migraine, like the stress of, I can only give a little, so why give anything? I would like to fully jump into this new venture, but I can't. I don't have all the funds, so don't bother. I would like to reach out to this person. I feel good when I'm communicating with this person, but I can't give them all of my attention, and I can't give them all of my emotion, and I don't feel safe to give everyone all of my emotion right now, so why bother? On the other side, we have the Queen of Cups. Now, for the people of you who are trying to step into letting the Tower moment happen, I mean, the Tower at the bottom has... There's peace to be had when the Tower clears. You can see the things clearly that were obstructed. Oh, I'm sorry, Sparkle Man. When the Tower comes down, there is the sun behind it. For those of you that this is you trying to step into peace, because it's the only way that I can feel it, a more peaceful existence, like just not walking around with a migraine all the time. There's this gorgeous Queen of Cups on this other side. Now, either this is you feeling like this person is ready to give all and I can only give a little, so we're just not going to give it all because it's in reverse, right? Or this is you wanting to step, like, just let the Tower happen, and it feels like a risk, and it feels like there's so much attached. The way, I know that this is supposed to be lightning, but the way that everything is intertwined with each other, it feels like for some of you, if the Tower comes down, again, this could only be for a few of you, but if the Tower comes down in your relationship, oof, I'm getting full confirmation, then it brings down other things that should not have to be affected by you letting go of a toxic relationship, but it does. I'm feeling family and finances attached. You could feel a little stuck. And you just really want the Tower to come down. You almost wish something would happen so that it's not on you. Oof. I felt that. You almost wish something else would happen that doesn't bring any harm to anyone, but something else could just happen that it doesn't leave it on you to bring the Tower moment. Because this is what you want to step into. This would be lovely if there was no fear. And if this could just happen already, then everything could be cleared away. We have the Wheel of Fortune in reverse between the Page of Cups and the Queen of Cups. Y'all know how I feel about the Wheel and the World. I don't hate the Wheel or the World when it is upside down, because it means you have the power to change it. And it's right under that Two of Pentacles upside down, feeling out of balance. Feels like maybe that's just timing. Whose messages? Pisces was so heavy too. Somebody once told me, do what you have to live the life you're proud of, to live the life you're satiated in, and to live the life that is designed for you and not for others, and keeping them happy. And I agree. But often it means having to do something where you look or feel like the bad guy, or even if you've been done wrong covertly for years, you have to do this one overt thing that puts you into the bad guy, or the person that broke the family up, or the person that put the boundary down. And also, if you feel like there's other consequences that then affect other people, it's just magnified. And I'm feeling that a lot here. The other thing that they said to me was that you could be doing everything right and people will find something to say about you or think about you. So just know that if you do the thing that makes you the bad guy for 5 minutes, if you do the thing that overtly says the truth out loud, if you do the thing that overtly puts the responsibility on you, know 2 things. If you feel it in your gut, trust it, because somewhere, somehow, when the storm clears, when the tower clears, hi Patty, that the guides and universe will have your back. The other thing is that somebody else will do something somewhere, 10 minutes later, and then everyone will be talking about that. That all eyes on you, and I mean, I feel that. I'm not a Scorpio, but I feel that even recently, the questions, the pressure, the how does this affect other people? I think it's very easy to say, like, whatever we do to keep peace externally, we usually create an internal sense of dis-ease. We sacrifice the peace internally to create it externally, right? But when there's other people, when there's innocent people involved, maybe kids, whatnot, it's it's great when it's a meme and it's not any less true, but it's also not any less true that there's other things that'll get affected here. But that storm does clear. And how long have you been living unable to give your best anyway to those same people that you're worried about disappointing or having all of this affect them? I'm just going to say this. When it is making you ill in any way, and I felt those migraines, I felt a sense of not well. When it's affecting your health, when it's affecting your mental, emotional state of being, when it's affecting your nervous system, when it's affecting all of this, but you for some reason feel like you deserve the punishment, Scorpio, like you've done enough stuff in the past where you feel like, well, this is what I get. This is maybe my karma. I have to live miserable like this. I just want to say this one thing. If there are children involved, and I don't care if they're young or adult, if there are children involved, Whether kids are saying from the time they're 5, I'm never going to be like my parents, they are still observing, taking in, and subconsciously setting up their mindset for whatever we show them. When we stay in horrible toxic relationships that we let make us sick, we are telling them, because when they fall in love crazy, they may say, I'll never be like my parents, right? But when they fall so deeply in love with somebody, they are also going to internalize out of fear of shame or anything, or what they deserve. They are going to internalize and allow themselves to be ill for not, and not leave out of situations that are harmful to them in some ways. So just know that you're giving anybody that you're worried about, you're also giving them a front row seat, and we're kind of always leading by example. About a year ago, I had some tough decisions to make, and I worried about how it would affect my kids. And then I had to remind myself that I was also teaching my children how much toxicity do we allow for the sake of not being a black sheep, or for the sake of not being the bad guy, or how much abuse in any way do we excuse and acclimate to. So that we don't disturb things for everyone else. And how much of an example are we quietly kind of instructing the people around us that look up to us in any way, or just looking to the example, or are just naturally following examples because that's what they've seen. None of it's easy. I do see their letting go of attachment, which I love, love, love for Scorpio. I licked it, it's mine. Letting go of attachment under this Wheel of Fortune coming up. Two of Cups, reciprocity, like-minded, somebody who wants to give what you give, somebody who wants what you have to give. This is equal love. It is upside down. Page of Pentacles, also upside down. There is new stability and new beginning, but until this attachment is fully, it's like this is an awareness at this stage, and it needs to be put into practice. Coming into April, there's going to be a lot on your mind, a lot that you want to follow through on, a lot of desires. And I see love again and again on this table, but it's not being acknowledged and it's not being offered. Hi, April. I sent you a text, babe. It's not being acknowledged and it's not being offered. It's being kind of protected, which makes sense after all of the energy that you have just been through, all of the transits. There's new stability, and there is reciprocal love on the board. I'm hoping when we get to April, we're able to like turn, because you can turn these. That's up to you. But this I love. Four of Pentacles is attachment. Mine, down, 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 but I just need this. I know it's not good for me, but look how beautiful it is. I just need this. All I need is this belt and this book of matches and this chair, and that's all I need. And it's in reverse, which is huge for Scorpio. Can sometimes have tendencies of possession, even for things that is not good for them. And if you have Scorpio rising or Taurus rising, and you have that Taurus or Scorpio on your descendant line, those energies can have a harder time letting go of things, even when they're bad for you. because it's making you miserable, but you'll be damned to watch it go make somebody else happy, or, right? Like that attachment. So this is huge. I am happy with this. I am happy with all of this other energy, Scorpio. I would rather see this as the ending alchemy. Letting go of attachments, working on your attachment style, working on your expectations and attachments, working on feeling like everybody's looking at you and saying, oh, look, they screwed up another relationship. Oh, look, that business didn't work either. That's the attachment. It might not even be the attachment to the person. And there's some level of Scorpio, don't give a fuck about what anybody else is saying about them. It's what you let others enable your thoughts about yourself. That's really the main issue. It's not, there's such a part of you that'll be like, I don't give a shit what people say about me, right? And then there's also that part, though, it's how are you feeling about yourself once you hear it out of somebody else's mouth. A Scorpio's good at punishing themselves. And that is what you're not supposed to do. You're supposed to let go of that. Let go of the judgment. Gosh, if you haven't done the inner child walkthrough for something, for anything, go take a look at that. My Scorpio and Scorpio placements. It's like right on my landing page on YouTube. I have it on my website, like highlighted. I think I even put the link at the bottom of the emails, because like it's a free healing. I don't get anything from you guys watching it. But it's just so important to start to dismantle shame, because shame will block healing. Shame will block evolution. Shame will block being able to let go to go things that are far healthier for you. Let's pull an oracle card for Scorpio. I'm going to do another one of these because they're all new. I'm finding them out with you. So we are doing the White Light Oracle. Okay. For Scorpio, please. For Scorpio, please. Wow. Wow. Okay, let's get to that one. These cards are incredible. Is that where everybody can see it? Okay. Beatitude of sacred rapture. Let your true self be seen. Search for the deeper spiritual purpose and opportunity for healing beneath conflict and suffering. If you have been in pain, this oracle brings you a message of joyful breakthrough. Your soul is growing stronger, more able to have faith and wisdom than in judgment or doubt. Commit to your spiritual path and know that you are making progress, even if things seem more difficult for a time. Know that any such difficulty is part of your healing and that you will successfully move through it. Trust yourself. Scorpio, I get it, right? I'm a human lie detector. I used to trust everyone first and then let them, and now I absolutely kind of let people show me who they are before I'll put full trust in them. But the one person that I've learned to trust more and more and more is me. And I completely support your right not to trust everything and everyone that comes to you and promises you the world, right? But trust yourself. That's the most important. Trust yourself. I love you, know you love you, Scorpio. I'll see you soon.